Embattled lawmaker representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, has alleged that her suspension from the Nigerian Senate on March 6 was premeditated and politically motivated. The lawmaker claimed that her rights as a legislator were violated, accusing Senate President Godswill Akpabio of overstepping his authority, adding that she raised a matter of privilege under Chapter 4, Item 9B of the Senate Rules, a provision that demands immediate attention. But the Senate President cut her off and ordered the Sergeant-at-Arms to remove her and directed the clerk to begin preparing her suspension letter while describing the development as a pre-written script. Natasha further alleged that deeper political tensions arose when she refused to comply with what she described as the Senate President's demands, and her suspension came just one day after she submitted a formal petition against the Senate leadership. Daniel, what do you make of this story? I mean, this is a long-standing issue that has culminated into court matter and even bigger scandals. But what do you make of this statement by Senator Natasha?
Since when this issue came to the fore, I've been very careful in such a way, because when you make some comments, it could be seen as against a woman or something, and I try to tread on it carefully. Now, having said that, I think it is not true what she just alleged now. That's not true. That's not what happened. We saw it live. In fact, when she was talking, when she was trying to raise that point of order, it was the chief whip that drew the attention of the Senate President to the fact that she's not sitting where she's supposed to be talking from. Why are we murdering history that just happened yesterday? How? That it was because she was trying to raise the point of order? No, it was the chief whip who actually called the attention of the Senate President to the fact that she's not seated where she's supposed to be seated. And all attempts to make her go to where she was supposed to be seated, including about 5 senators, stood from their seat, went to her. She refused. Why are we trying to murder history that just happened just yesterday? Why are we painting it like, no, it was not what we saw? It became rowdy. So, you see, these are the issues for me when we, because I once said something about it and somebody said, no, the women, I said, please, can we remove gender first and let's look at the issues? Now, look at what she just said. That's not true. It was later reviewed by the woman senator from the FCT, Kingibe, who said on that particular day, there were 5 senators, 5, whose seats were changed due to the senator from Delta State, what's his name, who decamped to the APC. So at what point did she now try to review the fact that it was because she wanted to raise an order and then the Senate President shut her up? That was not true. The chief whip of the Senate was the one who raised a motion to say that Senator Natasha is trying to raise a point of order from the seat that does not belong to her. Every senator is allocated a seat. So, what then happened? There was a shouting order from her. We saw it. 5 senators were with her. People can go back and watch that video again. Trying to plead with her, trying to tell her to please go to her seat. Then she can raise that point of order. She refused. And the whole place became rowdy. And the Senate President had to step in. But to have said that the Senate President overused his power, that is not true. So if we have issues where we are supposed to look at them critically, one, I am not and I would never be for any man to harass any woman. That allegation must be investigated. And whoever, whether the Senate President, whether she's one line, it must be treated accordingly. Let's not put privilege whether there is a Senate President involved or all. But the fact is that the real issues should be clearly stated. To have said that, oh, the Senate President override his own power by shutting her down, that was not true. We all watched it on the national television.
Right. So you would say that the Senate president was well in order to suspend her for 6 months because of that action?
No, the Senate president didn't suspend her for 6 months. Let's get it clear.
Okay.
The issue that happened that day was referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges. And they invited her. They did or she didn't come. She said she had a court order for her not to appear. Senator Ireti Kingibe was part of that committee. And in their recommendation, they were the one who recommended for 6 months.
All right.
They submitted the report. The Senate president read out all of that. And in the course of that, the Senate tinkered with some of the this thing reached by the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges, part of their recommendation to the Senate. Some were not agreed on. The Senate threw some out of it. It was the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges that recommended that Senator Natasha be given a suspension of 3 months. In the debate of that issue, some senator had said that they should reduce it to 3 months and all of that. But the power rests on the Senate president. He is the first among equal. And he agreed with the committee. So it was not in the...
He agreed with the committee while the argument on the floor was for 3 months. But we agreed with the committee's...
No, when we say agreed,
resolution
the Senate,
of 6 months.
The Senate agreed. Now, if you, as a senator, raised an issue from Niger State, from Bauchi State, from Delta State, it first becomes your opinion. It first becomes what you said. But if the Senate goes ahead to adopt it, it now becomes the Senate agreeing on such.
The question I want to ask is, the Senate, in trying to enforce punitive measures on an allegedly erring senator, breaks the law in doing that. How does that make sense?
No, the Senate didn't break any law.
All right, very well.
Hold
on. Now, House Order, the Senate Section 67, subsection 4 of the Senate Standing Order allows for suspension, but it says that a senator shall not be suspended beyond 14 days. No, now, in the issue of...
That has been tested in court.
Hold on. It has been tested in court in the issue of Omar Agege, who was suspended for 90 days. And the court declared that suspension illegal, saying and stating the same rule. It cannot exceed 14 days.
No.
What is different about Senator Natasha? Now, let me remind you that Akpabio at some time when he was a senator, acted in the same manner that Senator Natasha did. There's a bot there. The video is viral.
No, but there's a bot.
The same commotion was caused.
No, but there's a bot.
What's the bot?
The bot was that he went back to his seat and apologized immediately. Apologized to the entire House, including the Senate President.
The question is, did Akpabio at any time act in similar manner?
Absolutely.
Whether apology came later or not, did Akpabio at any time? Now, have there been rowdiness in the Senate House? Yes, there have.
No, rowdiness,
have there been rowdiness? Have there been disobedience by Senate members? Have senators launched at each other in the House?
Absolutely.
Then how come I've not heard suspension based on such recalcitrant behavior? Hold on. Okay. That puts Nigerian National Assembly on global ridicule.
No, let's. That's why I said, when it comes to issues like, I don't want to put emotions.
I'm not being emotional. I'm being very factual.
No. Let's go
because
back.
I'm looking at precedents.
Let's go back to last year. The senator from Bauchi State was suspended for 4 months or something? Was suspended
illegally. Illegal suspension.
No. See,
it's not in line with the Senate standing order.
No. Did he challenge it in court?
Hold on. There is. Hold on. No. See, this becomes the issue. There is a Senate standing order that a senator who is elected in the first instance cannot be suspended beyond 14 days because you're denying their constituents of governance. Hold on, comrade. Okay. Then moving forward, there has been a judgment There has been a judgment from a court.
No, the judgment
declaring that illegal.
And
that judgment, for now, to the best of my knowledge, has not been struck out.
No. Let's get what was the foundation of that judgment?
Hold on. The judgment said it is unequivocally. The judgment was unequivocally clear. Okay. That a senator cannot be suspended beyond 14 days.
That was not the foundation of that matter.
All right.
The foundation of that judgment was that Omo Agege was never invited to any committee.
The question was Omo Agege suspended for 90 days? The spirit of the issue, hold on, the bone of contention in court was illegal suspension of Omo Agege for 90 days. I am not interested in the things that happened, but I am interested in the spirit of the judgment of the courts, that no senator, no matter the offense, can be suspended beyond 90 days.
No court has.
Sorry, beyond 14 days.
No court has done that.
Check, go and do your research on Omo Agege's matter.
No, because you see, millions of persons are watching. Omo Agege seek for fundamental right.
All right.
And in giving that judgment, the court said that it was not fair that Omo Agege was not given the right to appear before a committee. Natasha was asked to appear before a committee. She refused to appear.
What was the court's final judgment?
I'm coming. Why was this person suspended? What's his name again? From Bauchi State. The last suspension that the Senate did. What was it was not even the rowdiness in the House. It was the allegation he made outside of the Senate. So, for me, it is not about the Senate president. When we use the word Senate president, no. The House agreed. The Senate agreed. The Senate as an institution agreed. It is not Akpabio as a person. When we do that, then we are trivializing that issue. If anyone goes to court, nobody goes to court to sue Akpabio that this is what he did in the Senate. No court can even hear it. But you can sue the institution of the Senate to say that my right was violated. But to have said it is Akpabio, no, I do not agree.
Now let me just quote something with respect to the suspension of Omo Agege.
Okay.
In 2020, the suspension of Senator Ovie Omo Agege was declared illegal and unconstitutional by the Federal High Court.
Okay.
The case was filed on behalf of the senator by Edward Omaga, okay, Esquire. And the court said that an elected senator cannot be suspended beyond 14 days.
Okay.
And again, apart from the court ruling this,
okay,
there is a standing order of the Senate House until that order is amended to be made flexible, and until a court. And then in March 2024, sorry, let me not quote that of March.
What's his name now?
That was Senator Ningi, but let me not quote that. Let me give you instances, about 3 instances of senators that have been suspended, or House of Assembly members that have been suspended, and it was upturned by the courts. In 2020, Jigawa State House of Assembly suspended Honorable Sani Iyaku over alleged criticism of the state governor. And it was upturned by the courts. The court ruled it inappropriate, null and void, and directed that the defendant be paid 3 months, his 3 months allowances, and withheld to the tune of 3 million naira. Now, in 2017, okay, let me leave that one. In 2018, Honorable Abdul Mumin Jibrin, a member of the House of Representatives, was suspended for 180 days for accusing the Yakubu Dogara-led House of padding the 2016 national budget. The Federal High Court nullified the suspension and ordered the payment of withheld salaries and allowances of the legislature. Now, there are a lot of, I have here over 8 evidences. But the point I'm trying to make is not whether Senator Natasha went against the House rules. That is established. What I am looking at is the legality of a 6-month suspension. How can the Senate, in trying to enforce punitive measures, break the law, in trying to enforce punitive measures, and they are supposed to be lawmakers, custodians? It's not making sense to me. I am not questioning the actions, how it is illegal. I mean, the actions of Senator Natasha insisting to speak from a seat that was not assigned to her, no. What I am looking at is the legality or the otherwise of that suspension, 6 months, as against the rule of the House. So that's, to a large extent, risks of, probably that's why a lot of persons are raising eyebrows. And you say it's okay.
No. But let me just say this in closing.
All right, go ahead.
When Omar Agege was suspended, we referred to the word as Senate. Nobody said Saraki. When Ningi was suspended, we said the Senate suspended Ningi. Nobody said Akpabio suspended Ningi. When it came to Natasha, we now said Akpabio suspended Akpabio suspended Natasha. No, Akpabio did not suspend Natasha. The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria suspended Natasha. Is their actions legal? Well, we can challenge that in court. But it is not Akpabio as a person who suspended her. The Nigerian Senate, which she belonged, suspended her. It is not Akpabio. The fact that we try to use the name Akpabio will now make it a thing that it is between Akpabio as a person and Natasha as a person. No. The Nigerian Senate suspended Senator Natasha. That can be challenged in court so that we have a human sense to whatever standing rules they have.
All right.
The House.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And in my statement when I was speaking, I said Nigerian Senate, when I was quoting all what I've said, I said Nigerian Senate suspended Natasha for 6 months. And to the best of my knowledge and the researches I have done so far, that is unconstitutional. And there is a court judgment that has gone ahead also nullifying these illegal suspensions of lawmakers.
No,
it is what it is, but I hope that the Senate actually, I just hope that the Senate, in trying to correct erring senators, also do not break the law.
Absolutely.
Particularly the laws that they have made.
Absolutely.
So that let's have, when it's where institutions are strong, institutions should be strong indeed. And we shouldn't have people twisting and turning things when they want. Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming. We have
Thank
actually
you for always having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for always staying connected to us. And this is where we round up.